This week I'd like to share a thought on Parshat Vayishlach based on a sefer written by my high school Rebbe, Rabbi Shalom Eldar, who taught me at Maimonides for a few years when I was in high school. And I recently received a copy of his sefer, Divrei Shalom, and I really enjoyed it, so I want to share a piece with you. As the curtain opens on Parshat Vayishlach, we see that Yaakov is preparing for reconciliation with Esav. An estrangement that's lasted 22 years is about to come to an end, but Yaakov feels a lot of physical fear and moral anxiety. And so to prepare for this reunion, this encounter, he first sends messengers, emissaries ahead to greet the party of Esav, to sort of test the waters. And in the message that he gives to his messengers, Yaakov says, Ko amar avdecha Yaakov, this is what your servant Yaakov says. This is very submissive and deferential to Esav, sort of subverting the actual brachas of the Rav Ya'avod Seir, that the elder should be serving the younger, which was given to Yaakov previously. And he continues through the messengers to say, Im Lavan garti ve'echar adata, that I have been living with Yaakov, with Lavan, all of these years, and I have been delayed until now for various circumstances. Rashi brings a few explanations on this word garti, this word I lived, which seems to connote something unusual. So Rashi says that Garti begematria taryag. The numerical value of Garti is 613, which points to the fact that im Lavan harasha Garti, that I was with Lavan for all of these years, v'taryag mitzvot shamarti. There's a nice rhyme, a nice sort of rhythm to that. Im Lavan harasha Garti, v'taryag mitzvot shamarti. That I was living in the fields, in the house of Lavan for all of these years, and the environment was a negative one. The influences were not positive, but I still managed to stay the course and to observe all of the 613 mitzvot. It probably doesn't mean literally all 613, but at least it means that Yaakov remained faithful to his father's home and also kept whatever mitzvot he was able to do. So it's amazing here to appreciate the fact that Yaakov was in an environment that was antithetical to the one that he was raised in. Yaakov was immersed in the culture of Lavan, which was one of duplicity and trickery, when he is duped with his wife being swapped for Leah, when Lavan tries to pull a quick one by having the sheep be colored differently so that he would be able to take more from Yaakov before they split, and Lavan also chases his grandchildren to try to retrieve them after parting ways. It's clear that Lavan is not an honest man, even from the Pshat, regardless of what Chazal do to him in the Midrash. So we see that Yaakov is a strong man. He is able to resist the influences of his environment. At the same time, we see that this is actually reciprocal, because Lavan is also not influenced by Yaakov's positive character. After Lavan finally says goodbye to his daughters, to his son-in-law, and to his grandchildren, it says, Vayelech vayashav Lavan limkomo, that Lavan returned back to where he was. And the Meshech Chachma says on this pasuk that Lavan returned to the same exact place that he was, spiritually speaking, before Yaakov arrived on the scene. Meaning to say that all of the meals that they shared together, all of the conversations that they had, the 2+ decades of life that they shared with one another did not rub off on Lavan at all. Yaakov's righteousness did not impact Lavan's evil character. And so from here we can see that in both directions, the Yaakov and Lavan were both hardened and not willing to be open to the influence of the other. Now, in life, oftentimes we are surrounded by environments in which it's important to be soft and to be open-minded and to be flexible to whatever stimuli are in our environment and to be influenced by them. And Lavan should have been willing to be open to the positive capacity of his son-in-law's character to influence upon him. On the other hand, there are also times in life where we are meant to be closed and hardened with a real hard shell so that we are not corrupted by some of the immoral sort of culture that surrounds us. And Yaakov demonstrates that capacity during his time in the home of Lavan, where he was able to retain the upbringing that he had in the house of Yitzchak. So may we be blessed with the discernment to know when in life it's appropriate to be open to the influence of others and when we need to steer clear of the potential negative in our environments. I look forward to seeing you in Shul.